This is the first day of my life. Swear I was born right in the doorway. I went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading blankets on the beach. Yours is the first face that I saw. I think I was blind before I met you. And I don't know where I am, I don't know where I've been, but I know where I want to go. And so I thought I'd let you know.
Guys, look how pretty this sundress is. It has a little butterfly, and it's so like 70s. I love it. I think I'm re-entering my era where I want to dress a little more like classically feminine. I don't know if it's all the tattoos. I just feel like maybe I'm overcompensating, but I don't know. Hi guys, I apologize if I get a bit sweaty throughout this video. I was actually gonna film it outside, but it's like 86 degrees and it just kind of sprung up overnight. Like we were having a lot of moderately warm days. It was like in the 70s for like 2 months practically. That first summer heat wave has hit. And as much as I'm happy about it because I can go to the beach and stuff, I'm also not ready to be sweaty all the time. Today, I want to talk about the loneliness epidemic of Gen Z and probably millennials and just a lot of people in my generation and around there. Because a lot of us have kind of flocked to this weird hyper-individual mindset, and as a result, I feel like a lot of people are really sad. I just feel like a lot of us are quickly losing the glue that held us together as people for so long and allowed us to progress and grow. The way that we advance so far as a species is through community. And yet I've realized a lot of us feel like we don't have that many friends. We feel like we can't reach out. We don't want to impose on people. It's also a very nuanced topic because social media makes us feel so connected all the time, but then we end up having this like deep yearning in us. I still have connections, I still have deep friendship, but I feel out of place when it comes to a general sense of community. And I felt like when I was up in the mountains, that definitely felt like it came back a little bit. I definitely saw people rallying together and being there for one another in a way that I don't see in the city as much. And it kind of really made me think and realize how much I miss that feeling. The feeling that I had, especially when I was a kid, and I just felt like people were more open, more willing to talk to each other, share stories. People have become very closed off for fear of oversharing. I want to hear people's stories. I want to be there for my friends when they're having a hard time. And I caught myself sometimes feeling like I was being really selfish and being like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. And then I realized, maybe it's because we're plugged in all the time. The way that we constantly are accessible and we have a phone on us at all times and we're just expected to text back and always be available, I feel like that has a really negative effect. And sometimes it goes so far that people just tend to isolate because it's overwhelming. You don't want to feel like you're always on call, but you do want to feel like you regularly see people and engage with them in your community, of course. A lot of that comes down to the fact that we don't have enough casual interaction. A lot of us don't see our loved ones or our close friends for weeks, months, sometimes years, and we have to plan these hangouts that just feel less and less frequent. And sometimes you don't want to dedicate your whole day. I mean, we're busy, we're stressed, capitalism is beating most of our asses, and it's like, I just so wish that people had more organic conversation and that throughout the day we could see people stop, catch up, do things together as a community, work with the people we love, build things with the people we love. But instead, the majority of the conversation you're gonna have is only gonna be with coworkers, or it's gonna be small talk, if you stop at the grocery store. And so the only people we really see regularly are the people that we live with a lot of the time. I don't like it. I feel so lonely, honestly, and I feel disconnected, and part of it is that I have to put myself out there, and I've realized I just need to do what makes me uncomfortable and seek connection and find these people and reconnect with them like my old friends. But the old me used to always be like, let's do it, like I'm just gonna go out and meet this person. And now it's so hard to get myself there. And it's not even that I'm like textbook depressed or anything. Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but there is that lingering loneliness where when you don't feel that sense of empathy and connection to people, it can be really easy to withdraw, but then you become bitter, and that doesn't lead you anywhere good. Because I know that people, for the most part, are well-intended, and most people have goodness to them, and it can be so hard when you're feeling overwhelmed. I've had a lot to work on, but I was a very giving person my whole life. Like, I was gonna give you half my sandwich. If I had $5, my friend can have $2.50, you know? I didn't grow up with money like that, so I feel like it's just born into you to want to help others and shit. So what I've noticed a lot, when I said hyper-individualism, it's the main character syndrome that I'm talking about. People have this rhetoric online and stuff where they're just like, oh, you don't owe anybody anything. You're the fucking main character of your life. You are the protagonist, like, who gives a fuck? And it's like, you do owe people things. You owe them kindness, and they owe you the same. And it's like, that can quickly go from something that's empowering and fun and like, yes, I am my own main character. Life is beautiful. I'm gonna put a positive spin on it. But then I feel like I've seen it also turn to like a little bit of a narcissism. And I feel like maybe that's just because everyone wants to be a content creator nowadays. I've been doing content creation for like 10 years. And like, when I look back on my teenage self, I'm embarrassed. There were times where I thought I was hot shit. I just made my whole identity surrounding the fact that I made content. And I look back at that version of myself. It's understandable. I went from this really insecure, self-hating person who was going through a lot, and then I had a ton of validation for like the first time. I felt real good. Probably a little too good about myself for a while there. But then you grow up and you realize, oh my God, I'm really just a person in the world. Who gives a shit to that extent? Like, you should love yourself, but oh my goodness. A lot of us truly just need a fucking hobby too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I straight up neglected my hobbies for years. And I remember thinking for such a long time, I was like, I just don't want to do these hobbies. Like, I just don't give a shit about the things I loved growing up. And so within the last couple years, as I've gotten older and been like, oh, I don't really want to fill my time with distractions as much as I want to fill it with actual substance and doing things that better me as a person. And if they don't better me, at least give me some fulfillment in life. So now I've been like drawing and doing all these things, and then I quickly find myself connecting with other artists or starting to create like a shared space. And it feels so corny to like search for some kind of event or place to like meet people. Like, I know sometimes people feel weird when things are orchestrated, but you could meet your best friend there. Like, you don't know. Just go do something with people. Make yourself a little uncomfortable. Like, it could be the best thing you ever did. For a very long time, a lot of my friendships surrounded smoking and going out and drinking and like doing these like fun, young things together. Some of those friendships led to a ton of substance, and some of them were my best friends, but a lot of them fizzled because I was like, can we go out to breakfast not hungover? Like, that in and of itself can lead to loneliness. You have to know when to step back and when to be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, these friendships are kind of shallow. Like, honestly, I feel like party friends can be some of the best friends to have. Like, just those friends that every once in a while when you're feeling crazy, you just go out and hang out and have a fucking blast. I get it. But I don't know, it just started to get lonely, in my opinion. Why am I that fucking stoned, you guys? Half of that pre-roll, I thought it wasn't gonna smack me. I thought it was gonna be kind of a shitty one. Like, it wasn't that expensive. It was like one of those ones that the bud tender just like, want me to throw it in? And you're like, yep. I would like you to throw that in real quick for like $5 or whatever. No, that shit smacked. I'm not a joint finisher, you guys. I'm not. I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like, cause I take bong rips, and so it feels like, oh my God, I'm just, and keeps going and going. Like, it never ends. I'm like, okay, are we done yet? No, it's still hitting. Jesus. The pacing begun, folks. There's never a time where I don't pace when I'm high. What is that? Or if I get on the phone, I walk a mile around my house, like dead ass a mile. Just like back and forth. What? Anyway, you guys, I know a lot of you are probably going through the same thing. Hopefully you just don't feel as alone because of me. You got me, okay? Love you. Obviously, I can't respond to every single one of you, but I do try to respond to comments like pretty consistently. Like, I feel like I'm decent at it. If you catch me in the first few days of a new video, I try to reply. I'll at least read it, I promise you that. And I know I'm just like some girl on the internet, but you would think that I would think all the time about how many people are actually like looking at my videos and how it's crazy. Like even 1,000 people's actually crazy if you think about it. But like weirdly, I just like forget about it all the time until one of you guys like meets me or something in person. And then I'm like, oh yeah, what? I'll be like, I've been a hermit for a month. How the hell are thousands of people perceiving me right now? Like that can't be. Cause like in real life, no one has seen me in weeks. Like, anyway guys, I love you. I will talk to you soon. Subscribe if you haven't, I guess. Where did this water come from? I can't drink that. That was the water my camera was sitting on, and I feel like I need to clean my camera real bad. Okay, love you guys. Bye!